We're going to evoke a few ideas on how to push suppliers to improve. The first thing I would say is it's very difficult. It's a big headache. There was a survey of a lot of buyers, and they say the biggest hurdle, the biggest problem they face in improving supply chain quality is working with suppliers to improve performance. Okay, how to work with suppliers? That's 70% of the response. Number one problem is this. Okay, so how to work with them to improve performance? Well, first you need to think, what is better performance? What do you need? Okay, what do we need in the company? Do we need them to have better quality, to keep prices lower, to be on time more often, to have a better relationship, maybe to help us reduce our costs internally? Okay, what do we need? We need to have a game plan, or obviously we need to know what we need from them. Okay, it's always good to track some key performance indicators, KPIs. So these are some examples of very common KPIs that other companies collect and track over time. I'm not going to go over this in detail because we have another training session on the common KPIs. But obviously, what is the percentage of defective products that they have delivered to us? How many big problems did we have? And how many ADs did we open, and how fast were they closed? These are the kind of things that are usually tracked. Also, the improvement over time. You know, they used to have 3% defectives. Now they have 2% defectives. Okay, that's going in the right direction. Or maybe it's going up to 5%. That's a big problem. Okay, quality. A lot of KPIs usually here. On-time delivery. Well, percentage of on-time delivery. Is it 10% late, 50% late, always on time? That has a big impact on our ability to deliver on time to our customers, because if our production cannot start and is waiting for some components, that's a big problem, right? Cost, do they keep raising the costs year over year or not? Okay, that's a big one. Also, can they help us maybe with suggest changes in materials, changes in processes, so that we can keep costs lower? Okay, and then this is cooperation. All right. Sometimes the suppliers are all okay, but they just don't really care about us. They don't help us maybe get an emergency order, a very fast production run. It's just an example. But that sometimes that's necessary to help us make and keep our customers happy. Okay. Also, we need to work differently with different kinds of suppliers. If the amount we purchase is very low, then it might be difficult to do anything with a certain supplier, especially if it's a very big supplier. Okay. So in that case, we need to talk to them. We need to try. But if really there's nothing we can do and they have very bad performance, we need to source a new supplier. But sometimes there are ways, even when we buy low volumes, sometimes there are ways to get them moving and get them also to make some efforts. Now remember, there's one thing very important. Most of their customers do not collect this data. So if you come to them and you say, okay, here's your performance on quality, here's on delivery, here's on cost, here's on responsiveness, and we track this over time, and you are not doing good, sometimes it can really cause a reaction in their company. Maybe a manager will take that, will use it to push their team. Hey, I want you to improve, and I want to see that this customer shows us better numbers next year. Okay, because again, if we do this, we will be among the few customers that do this. we will be a professional customer for them. We give them good feedback. It's actually very useful feedback for them. Okay, so sometimes it can really make a difference. Now, if we purchase a very high amount, well, it makes sense to track this very carefully because it's a lot of money for us. So we need to know how well they're doing. Okay, and if their quality level is high, there's very few issues. Okay, that's great. Okay, or quality, or you can also say on-time delivery, maybe cost over time, and so on. Okay, this is just an example for quality. If they are here, that's great. We don't need to do much, but we still need to make sure that they know we are tracking. They know we are tracking. They know we are following up. So if they don't do a good job, they will get the feedback. Okay, but here, if they're here and they have poor performance, we need to take action. And if we purchase a high amount, especially if the supplier is not very big, we can often do something. Okay, now the question is how to do something that gets us some results. Okay, how to drive improvement. That's tough, but there are many ways to do that. Okay, different companies do different things, but really the key here is for different suppliers, different things might work. Okay, so maybe give them a formal feedback every 3 months. Take the data that we collected here, write a letter to them, and send it to their boss. Sometimes it really gets them moving. It gets the attention of the boss. Sometimes, if they're not doing good, we need to compare them with some better suppliers of the same products. So it's like a challenge. Hey, your competitors do this better than you. How come? Look, you are not doing good. You have 5% defectives. They have 1% defectives. Or they are always on time. You are always late. Well, how come? Okay. Sometimes, now very often, it's good to get them to come, especially in Dongguan or Shenzhen. Come and see and explain to them the problem and the problems that it's causing for us internally. Sometimes it really gets them moving. Sometimes we need to escalate. We need to say, okay, we're going to do more inspection in your factory, because in IQC we always have a lot of problems. Maybe we need to do an audit, an in-depth audit, to see what the problem is, and not just wait for them when they say, okay, next time will be okay. But we need to say, hey, we no longer can trust what you're doing in your processes. We need you to help us see what the problem is. We are coming to see what the problem is. Okay? So this, they don't like, but often it gets their attention. And then very common, obviously, is sort of punishing them like little kids. Oh, you did this wrong, then we'll give you a charge back. Okay, it cost us 10,000 RMB, we charge it back to you, or we give you a penalty. You've been late for a week, so we give you 5% penalty, for example. Or we start to work with another supplier, we reduce your business. Okay. This is interpersonal relationships with the suppliers. If you are not getting results, maybe someone else in our company will get results. So don't hesitate to talk with your colleagues. Maybe somebody else can follow up. Try something different. Try a different approach with the same supplier. Okay. Basically, it's like selling. You need to convince them. Convince them to take action and to take you seriously. Okay. And if all of this doesn't work, then go back to sourcing other suppliers. But we should try different things with different people in their company before we go back to sourcing, because sourcing is really admitting that we failed to manage this supplier. Okay, there's many ways, many things we can do. Okay, if you have any questions, send me an email. Thank you, and I hope it was helpful.